And here's what everything looks like before assembly. TV itself, the bottom's actually not screwed into anything right now. So here's the back of the unit. This is what the bottom of the TV looks like prior to assembly. Some weird modifications, like you could tell this was cut right here and then like shaved off right there. Same with the back legs, revealing the hole here. They use this hole right here conveniently to run. The black one's video, the red one's audio, and a power source for the VCR, which I'll show in a second. This is what the back of the VCR looks like. This in turn is just the straight up power supply right here, which could be interchanged with a battery pack because this is a portable VCR. Here's that custom adapter they put on there to make it work with the unit. Little stuck on cord management thing. This will show how it works, but as your RF modulator, it even says RF low high, low being 3, high being 4. Battery, push this, it would eject that, so why don't we do that real quick. Okay, and here's the power supply disconnected. It's made of metal, quite well made. And this little jack right here below the F-type connector, I'll show later when I reassemble. The JVC logo you see right here is not visible when it's assembled as a unit. Interesting to note, this is how it was modified on the side. There's a piece of black electrical tape here, and there's no power switch at all on the power supply. You have your a microphone and earphone jack and your tracking controls right there, a camera input, and the front of the unit right here. And here's the nameplate info on the bottom of the VCR. And interesting, you can see they also shaved off the feet on this. You can see little marks from it, of which you won't see once it's assembled. For assembly, this is what they did. They actually drilled into the plastic of the front cover for 2 screws up there, and the 2 back screws actually mount to the power supply to hold it down. And you'll see that in just a second. Okay, I got the VCR attached to its sled in here. This little nut. This is a paint. This was actually riveted in originally, and I had to take it to the bench press and drill it out, and it made some horrible noises. Now, here is the adapter that goes into that socket down there. Remote control, video, and audio. It does bring the remote jack to the back and the RF channel 3 and 4 to the back for external use. Remember, this is from 1983. So, and they just actually drilled right through this to make that happen too. So there are a lot of weird custom options on this unit. So let's do that. Okay, so this is what the unit would be. Now we'll get this in there. Power, that, and RF. I haven't hooked anything up yet, but I'll show you. So this will just slide forward out the front. The front's already down, so, and it slides all the way forward like so. So now let's attach the TV and its copper shield. Now the 4 screws that attach the steel base plate to the TV, the 4 screws being used actually are for the cabinet of the TV as well. Got that copper shield in place. They gave you 4 screws in the bottom. You have to stick a long screwdriver through like so. And then you go in here, find where the screw is. And you do that, and it'll bolt the TV to the steel base. I'll do that for all 4 screws and we'll be back. Okay, all wiring is in place. So all that's left now is to plug in the power for the TV. actually it's technically plugging the power for the VCR, then sticking it back in. Then the machine should slide all the way back, like so. And there it is, it fits back on, so you can't see the wiring. One last interesting bit before we continue is how do you access the tracking? Well, it's kind of odd. Like here's the weird thing. It blocks the microphone input. You see the earphone input, camera input. You slide it out to about here to get to the tracking. And then you see that, but there it slides on a sled just like that. And when you're not adjusting tracking, that little plastic cover goes on. And here is the TV after completion of being fully cleaned up. Now I'll just go over some of the unique things about this TV. This TV was made for hospitals, and here's some of the rather unique things and oddities about it. This was made before TV VCR combos even was a thing. So they just must have spec'd this out and found parts that would fit perfectly with it. But let's look at this. Where it says MPO Videotronics, that would say Quasar. There's an actual emblem on here, not a sticker or anything. There's kind of like the Sony emblem, except it's a Quasar. And as a slide rule type tuner, VHF and UHF channel selection on off. Goes up to channel 83 obviously because it's prior to that FCC mandate of channel 69. And it has a video monitor switch. So yeah, it's a TV monitor and it can run AC or DC. No battery pack though for it. There is a tinted shield to go over this, but as you can see, it's pretty scuffed up pretty badly. I'm gonna have to take it to the buffing wheel and work on it before I put it on. That is the original piece for it. It's not broken. And it's neat. This is a charcoal tinted type. See, it's see-through. It's just very dark where the VCR sits. And up front, all you see is that it says video cassette recorder model BR-1600U. And it's on a sled that pulls out. You have to pull it out of the way before you hit eject. This will pop up in front, load the tape, etc., etc. But even though it's pulled out, you can't see what the brand name was. Which is obviously a JVC. Right here would be where the strap would go because it's a portable machine. That said, it's not a consumer machine. This was like a prosumer commercial unit. And it does, I'll show on the side, it does have a camera jack. It has AV outputs, but it does not have AV inputs. You have to buy a dubbing cable for it, and that's it. This machine is only designed to hook up to other machines, line level, no tuner or a camera. And this is also it's a 4-head unit. It's a 2-speed only, standard play, extended play, but it's the type that it's not for special effects. It's for what it should be for, you know, proper track width, video quality. This has the 58 micron standard playhead and a 19 micron extended playhead. And it does do good special effects, but they're not going to be perfect like you're expecting with a newer 4-head machine, which is designed more for special effects than picture quality. I'll take picture quality. You know, has these nice soft reset and memory buttons, battery indicator, and a do indicator. You know, you pause, record. It does do reverse play, 1x, regular play, shuttle search, audio dubbing, insert dubbing. So yeah, it's a pretty feature-packed unit. The MSRP on this was $885 back in 1983, so it was a rather expensive unit. It was also one of the most compact units at the time as well. So yeah, and then when you're done, you just slide this back in, clicks into place. But yeah, the custom part is the bottom steel base that's designed to mate up directly with the TV. Then on your side here, you got your channel tuning knob and the top controls on this unit. You got your volume control, just a slider, automatic color, automatic fine tuning. There is a door that's supposed to be on top of this, which is missing. That's what this piece is for. It's not perfect, but it's the otherwise complete unit. You know, metal carrying handle. Being a Quasar, it uses the Quasar nomenclature for your controls: intensity and hue, brightness and picture. And this is the back. Before I go on, there is a built-in monopole antenna. And on the back here, they just have a piece of like fiber board that screws in to cover up after you connect the controls internally to the unit. It does have RF out, which is simply a small coaxial cable that's connected to the RF modulator on the VCR, and a remote out, which is actually the same RCA type jack on the VCR. I need to find the wired remote for this unit. When we got this back label, it says Quasar Company and all the specifications. It had a label over top the whole thing that did say MPO Videotronics. And some interesting things to note back here: your audio video inputs are actually what's tied into the monitor when you press the TV video button. That's what this yellow sticker is. So yes, these line level ends are tied into the VCR direct. And yes, you can hook an auxiliary source to this, providing you leave the VCR off. If you turn it on, both signals try to go in the TV at the same time. It does actually also has AV out. And even though it's a monitor like this, it still has your standard 300 ohm twin lead connections. I just have a balun on it. It does not have a 75 ohm F-type coax connection. And there's a switch right here for your rod antenna, an external antenna, which I have on external. Here's the rod antenna connection. RF automatic gain control, which I did need to tweak a little bit. And horizontal hold, service, vertical height. Now there are some modifications on the back of this unit. See how it says AC and battery? I kind of question why they did that, because the way these pins are configured, over here on this side is your 12 volt battery, and on this side here is your AC input. Depending on which plug you use, it's either going to run on 120 or 12 volt, and that's all this switch does. I'm kind of confused why they did it. Now, from this connection, the VCR, believe it or not, can actually be powered by the way they wired it, 120 or 12 volt as well. But still, it can be just accomplished by these connections right here. Still question the need for this AC battery switch, but I'm leaving it there. And then you come around to this side, you got your speaker and the earphone jack for the TV itself. And for this TV, because of its nice small size, it's a perfect place to set it on the workbench, on the shelves above, with everything else. And one thing I forgot to mention on the VCR end of things, original belts are in perfect condition still, didn't have to do anything to it. In fact, the machine has had some use, but it's very clean inside. So I just did general maintenance on it, and it's up and running. Now we're going to turn this thing on. And when you do that, get the VHF. Now I'm going to turn off some lights here real quick to get better contrast here. TV's on, and while it is kind of hard to see on the video here, the tuning scale is backlit with 2 green LEDs, and you can see the green where the tuning indicator's at. And then, you know, for VHF, that orange LED's lit, it's red, you must have a filter on it. Green for UHF, and you press TV video, line level input right here. Now for regular TV, jack right here, we ditched Comcast a long time ago. Stuff to do video on it. I have a Yagi antenna in the attic pointed towards Pittsburgh. This is a Zenith cable box. That's most likely one of those freebies you got the coupon for. It's rebadged LG. I have an Insignia remote. It's the same remote for it. They're all the same. It's all the same unit. So hit power. There you go. I'll touch this, get what the actual picture looks like. And let's see. I've been using the remote to control the volume.
You're able to walk upright and get a normal.
But just a quick sample. So yeah, this is the
president's not going to
tuning in some channels here.
You're not from around here, are you? What do you call angels who is giving his 16-day Florida vacation to stay in feet, padded sit-to-stand handles.
Gets very rich colors, very good picture quality. I did full adjustments on this TV, grayscale, you name it.
We probably should take care of our outstanding bills first.
That's worth a walk.
A lot of WQED channels. I mean,
Claus, right? Not Santa.
About the weather, the mosquitoes.
Stairs with a commanding view, and then create
The air source. Air enters through the hose.
let's see what we got.
out of your grave.
Has the Home Shopping Network on the antenna.
Side and the texture is really
QVC.
unique. I would say
Okay. No, but
Oh, come on, Eolus. It was a joke.
Let's see what we got here. Hercules. Guess after this would be Xena, Warrior Princess. Nope.
Impression. When you invert your back and
those are fruits and vegetables which offer
I have to hit the
you know, you get it back.
picture mode function a lot because none of these are standard, like for cropping or letterbox.
iPhone 10R on us. We lease the latest iPhone. Switch to Sprint today.
wow.
When the husband came in, Dylan said,
You recommend it? No, you're ready to go.
This is the only station that's iffy coming in. Has weak signal. I mean, it says that, but then it just goes bad. That's the only station I can't get to come in. Sometimes it says no signal now. It does have the antenna version of the Game Show Network on here. This depends on the weather if I can pick this one up. But as you can see, that's the only station that does that. Having a proper antenna set up makes a big deal, and it's actually distributed to the whole house. I'll show how I did that in another video. But yeah, having a small Yagi in the attic pointed towards all the stations works beautifully. Now I'm going to get a tape and we'll show VCR operation. Okay, so this is what we're going to do to get this in to play tapes. Just put the TV in line input mode. Just pull this out till it stops. Power on. That's the mechanism and everything inside. The tape I recorded 8 years ago. So this is what it's going to do when you hit play and listen. This was recorded on a piece of crap Funai VCR, but I was doing it for a certain reason.
Cleaning out the mystery tapes.
Yep. Now, this is a standard play tape, so I'll just show some of the functions. Let me turn the light off on the camera. Okay, I adjusted the contrast or picture control on the TV so it doesn't get washed out as easily. But I'll show what happens for special effects, you know, shuttle search. See, it is clear, but it's only using 2 heads. As you can see, the special effects weren't clear like a special effects VCR would be, but this is, again, this is two heads per speed, and it's designed for picture quality during playback, not special effects. Here's pause, which is still pretty impressive. It's clear, and it does do. This isn't necessarily frame advance. You just adjust it like that. See, have play, reverse play, reverse. It's kind of going backwards. It's playing Cruisin' USA. That's actually on a tape though. The camera's having a hard time syncing the frame rate TV. And this is rewind. And looking at it from above, well, it is kind of hard to see down in there. You can see the tape. This is why I love top loaders. And plus the video head drum sounds pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the VCR. And then since I don't have any of the adapter cables for it, I can't really do too much else for like recording or stuff. But for using it as just a player, it's perfect. I still have all these TVs shown in this video, but they're out in storage. Some of them I work on. That's the old furnace, if you remember that. That's my old Gateway computer from 2000. I brought it out just to play with, and it hasn't been powered up since this video, so that's going to be interesting. I should do a video on that soon. I have one of those corner Zenith TVs too. That's a Thompson GE right there. I threw that thing out. Now, let's see. You got tape counter and memory, and that arrow is actually your play button for play. So if you hit stop, yeah, it stops right there. I'm gonna hit fast forward. Okay, see how well the brake works on this. Nice solid thunk. Here's what rewind was. The idler in this is geared, no tires. And listen closely for playback as we load the tape. It's kind of hard to do. We got recessed lights over here at the workbench for when we don't have the big lights on. So I was trying to show this. How's this? Now listen carefully. Beautiful. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The demonstration of this rather unique custom-made portable unit.
This Sears Gold Star gets fantastic picture quality. It's razor sharp. Yeah, but it just doesn't like certain extended play tapes at all.
So yeah, I mean, this TV gets really good color, and I actually have a Panasonic version of this TV that was also a hospital TV. That's a standalone unit, which you may be seeing in a future video.
And good linear audio.
So now let's stop the tape. Hit rewind. This should hit the beginning of the tape rather quickly. Yep. And hit eject. And that's all there is to it. Now while I showed the whole machine out, you can still see the head drum spinning. So we'll just slide this back in. And while it's playing normally, reset this. I always like to reset tape counters. This should normally flip up, and that's all you'd see. But while that window's flipped up, you can see the indicator lamps, LEDs, what it's doing. And that's what it looks like with no video being fed. It's not black, it has like a gray screen. But you take it out, normal TV viewing right here. And that's pretty much it. So it's rather unique, portable, well made, and perfect size for having at the workbench, and you can watch TV with the tuner on here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please hit like and subscribe. Thanks.